भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are doing verse number 12. कर्मणे अस्मिन् अनाश्वासे धूमधू धूम्रात्मनां भवान् आप्यायति गोविन्दा पादपद्मा स्वं मधु। कर्मणे अस्मिन् अनाश्वासे धूम धूम्रात्मनां भवान् आप्यायति गोविन्दा पादपद्मा स्वं मधु। Synonyms: Karmani, performance of; Asmin, in this; Anashvase, without certainty; Dhuma, smoke; Dhumra Atmanam, tinged body and mind; Bhavan, your good self; Apaya Yati, very much pleasing; Govinda, the personality of Godhead; Pad, feet; Padma, aswam, nectar of lotus flower; Madhu, honey. Translation: We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire, without certainty of its results, due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are distributing. Purport, but by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Naimisharanya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert brahmanas able to carry out such performances successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain, like agriculture enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depend on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy Brahmanas of the age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the sacrificial scriptural injunction that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance but the sacrifice of congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Sutta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. The sages of Naimisharanya were practically sufferers from the smoke of the sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from the realized person like Sutta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds of vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations. But when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. So, thank you, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to speak for my own purification. So, in this verse, sages of Nami Sharanya, they are uh, so they are telling to whom? Anyone online? So sages of Nami Sharanya telling this, right, that we have just begun the performance of fruitive activities, a sacrificial fire. So they are telling to whom this thing? Anyone? All right. So they are telling this um, to Sutta Goswami, right? So they are telling that they have performed the sacrificial fire, but that sacrificial fire, uh, they are not certain about the result of the that fire, sacrificial fire. In this age, modern age, age of Kali Yuga, we are performing, many people are performing such sacrifices, but uh, we can say that there were around like 80,000 sages in Nemisharanya who were performing this sacrifice, the fire sacrifice, right? So if they are feeling that thing, like they are themselves are not certain of the result of sacrifice, then how, like with the one brahmana, that too we don't know, like what activities or what scriptures they read or they follow or how much they follow, right? So that's why we are also not sure of the results of that sacrifice. And that too, uh, the sacrificial fire, those activities are fruitative activities in this age of Kali, right? So, sages are telling to Sutta Goswami that we are not sure of the result of this sacrifice, but they are very much pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. What is that nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead? Which they were hearing from Sutta Goswami, right? So Sutta Goswami was a great personality, and they are telling that they are not getting much benefit, or they are disturbed by the flaws. They are not certain of the result of the sacrifice, but they are now pleased by hearing the pastime, the glories of the Lord from the Sutta Goswami. So Prabhupada here is further explaining in the purport that the first flaw in this age of Kali Yuga is the scarcity of expert brahmanas, right? So like once like my friend, I have given many times this example. So they have this Homi Yagna, what we call that, mm, Grah Pravesh, yeah, Grah Pravesh Yagna in their home, right? And immediately after, the next day or the following week, they have their basement flooded. And she called me, she was very upset naturally, right? And she asked me one thing, like casually just talking to me, and she mentioned that, oh, what is the use of this sacrifice? Nothing helps. Like whatever is happen, it will happen to you, so there is no use. I didn't like say anything to her, definitely. But when we read when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear such things, we can relate to that there is a scarcity of expert brahmanas, right? So how we can say this thing, like expert brahmanas, that they are not expert. So I am not like telling like no brahmana is expert, or all the brahmanas are with flaws and everything, but that is what our scriptures are mentioning. So if we take the example even from the scriptures as well, that how a small flaw can make a huge difference in the result is the example of that Brahmana. Um, if someone can remind me the name, they can tell. Um, who performed the sacrifice, whose son was killed by Indra, and he wanted to perform a sacrifice to create a demon who would kill Indra. What was the name of that Brahmana? Anyone knows? Anyways, so while he was chanting the mantras, he wanted to create a demon who would kill Indra. But during that invocation of the mantras, instead of saying that the demon will kill the Indra, he chanted the demon would killed by Indra. So anyways, like it's a long story short, that it was not actually a demon, it was a great devotee, Vritrasura. So I forgot the name of the Brahmana, but the point here is um, like that scarcity of expert Brahmana, even a like small flaw or the small mistake in chanting the mantra can make a huge difference, right? It like make the whole meaning, like opposite. The demon is supposed to kill the Indra, but it was invoked in such a way that it says the demon should be killed by Indra. So definitely whatever happens in Srimad Bhagavatam is the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees. So but that is the lesson we can learn from that thing, that that how a small flaw in this sacrifices in this age of Kali makes the result are uncertain in that way. Like Prabhupada is giving the example of the paddy field, right? So if the seed is put in the wrong place, or like for example, we put the seed in a place where there is no irrigation point, like we cannot get the water to water the seeds, right? So water the crop. So then that person, the farmer, has to depend upon the providential rain. So in the same way, if we are not doing the right sacrifice, which is meant to perform in this age of Kali Yuga, then we are actually will not get the desired results. We will be totally depending upon the providential, right? So rather than depending upon the providential, like okay, if that sacrifice work, we will get the result, that too the fruitative results, which is going to end anyways. So it's not like permanent results. So if we wanted to get like true happiness, true results, then why to depend upon such sacrifices which results are like also uncertain? So what we should do is we should perform the sacrifice which is meant for the age of Kali Yuga. So, which is the Sankirtan Yagna, hearing and chanting. That's what the sages of Naimisharanya are also mentioning, that they're factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of the Godhead, right? And they are mentioning, like Prabhupada is mentioning, comparing such nectar with the satisfaction, right? So, yeah. So, here, one can Prabhupada is giving example that one can feel the result of eating food, right? So in the same way, spiritual realization act in that way. How it is like when we eat food, no one has to tell you like how much you should eat. You will feel satisfied, like, and you know that I have my hunger is quenched, or my thirst is quenched. In the same way, the spiritual realization, it it will it will tell you that there is like no need to perform any other thing. Like for example, like it is like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Like sarva dharma parityaja, like abandon all variety of religion and surrender unto me, right? And there is one more verse which says, like, water the root, when we water the root of the tree, the branches and the twigs and the leaves, everything flourishes, right? By watering the root of the tree, we are giving nourishment to all the branches and everything else. So in the same way, when we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when we perform hearing and chanting in this age of Kali, we are satisfying everyone in this world. We are satisfying all the other demigods and all other entities as well. So then we don't have to depend upon the other sacrifices. Some sacrifices are definitely mentioned in the Shastras, we still perform, but we keep Krishna in the center. We don't depend upon such sacrifices. Like, it is not the whole purpose and the whole activity which we are depending upon. We are depending upon our hearing, we are depending upon the chanting of the holy names, right? We are not depending upon the other activities. The other sacrifices are only mentioned or mentioned for the some of the sanskaras, like we say Garbhan sanskara and Namkaran sanskara, marriage ceremony. Like we will be doing this the purification yajna ceremony. So all these things are mentioned for the particular places, not for everything. Like, we are not depending upon such sacrifice, but what we are depending upon is we are depending upon the hearing and chanting, right? So we should like do our activities in such a way that like we are always immerse ourselves in the Rupa Goswami always says, right? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So our all our activities are centered around this one instruction. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And how we can do that? We can do that by making all our activities spiritualized, right? So as soon as we wake up, we just chant pranam mantra, or express our gratitude, just fold our hands and remember Krishna. And then while we are bathing, we can still chant some mantras, or um, uh, uh, think about Krishna. And while we are cooking, while we are going office, I know many devotees, while they drive, they listen to the lecture. So you know driving also becomes spiritualized. You can hear songs, or you can hear bhajans, you can or hear classes. So that's how the activities are same. It's hearing, you are hearing something, but uh, what you are hearing, that matters. You are hearing about Krishna, or you are hearing some material stuff, or the news, or something like that. So if we are hearing about Krishna, if we are hearing bhajans, if we are hearing classes, or Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, any of the things, then we are making our activity spiritualized, right? So even like while work, some of the jobs are not actually Krishna conscious, but how we can make it Krishna conscious? We can keep some pictures, we can in the um, like lunchtime, take a break, maybe chant a few rounds, or like um uh, I was hearing I think it was Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, or someone's schedule, like that Prabhu has a long travel before his job. So what he does is he chants and he reached the whole time he travels for his job, and while we are doing our jobs, we wait for the evening. He was sharing that, he wait for the evening, like when he like go back to home, and then perform the arati to the Lord, dressing to the Lord, cook for the Lord. So like that we can make our activity spiritualized. So once, Romapat Swami Maharaj was giving class on Zoom during pandemic, and I asked him this question, like, Maharaj, we are not able to do the direct Krishna conscious services, direct service to Krishna, right? So then what we should do, like, we are always, we have duties, material duties, like, we cannot keep our house dirty, so we have to clean the house, we have to maintain the kids, we have to do our jobs, like, then we are not like Krishna conscious always. So Maharaj gave me one answer, and Maharaj says, like, who told you that this is not Krishna conscious, right? So you are raising Krishna conscious kids, your house is Krishna's house, you have deities at home, it's their home, so it's your duty to keep your home clean for them. So we are doing the same activity, it's just the consciousness, what consciousness we are performing that activity. If we are keeping Krishna in the center, like that day I learned, like, even the cleanliness, makes, you can make the clean activity of your cleanliness of the house also, you can make it Krishna conscious. If you keep in your mind, like this, certainly you train your mind that this is, Krishna's house, this is Lord's house, this is Radhavan Vihari's house, this is Nityanadya Chandra's house, right? So you are cleaning with that consciousness, means you are Krishna conscious, right? um so we should engage ourselves more and more in hearing and chanting. That will only give us the satisfactory results. Then we will be, know, like, we are fully satisfied. We are, like, our hunger is satisfied. Until that, we'll keep on running and running and running. Nothing can satisfy us. So, like, for example, I was hearing one example of that lottery system, right? So if one person gets a lottery, he will not get satisfied. Why? Because he will be thinking, oh, let me try my luck more. I'm like lucky, I get this, like a big amount of lottery. Let me buy the another one, the another one, the another one, the another one, like that. It keeps on going. Nothing can satisfy in this world. Only and only thing which can satisfy us is about, devotional service. Only and only devotional service can satisfy us, right? Like, when we, do any service, maybe it's direct or indirect, it gives us so much satisfaction that, we are able to, please, like, our only shelter, like, we should not be depending upon this yagnas and the other dharmas, right? So only and only yug dharma is Sankirtan Yagna, right? So we should be depending upon only on Sankirtan Yagna, nothing else. So, like Prabhupada also says in the last line, in other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. So that this is the only summum and bonum of everything. Like, even nothing can satisfy us, nothing can satisfy the Lord. Only and only devotional service can satisfy the Lord. We can, offer like a lot of luxury or the gold or many luxury items to the Lord, but Lord will not be satisfied. How one can please the Lord is with love, with love and affection we can please the Lord, right? So in the same way, when we please the Lord, we will be pleased ultimately. So that is the crux of this verse. Um, that's all from my side. Anyone has anything to add or share? Okay.